of the Always Believe house. Oh, we're about to have F-U-N, fun, because we're going to do Staar Review 9. Oh, we're about to put the fun into function. So let's get going. Remember, the first three are just graphing lines. On number one, we're going to graph a y equal. Whenever you graph a y equal, you're going to write down HOI. That's horizontal, zero slope, and y equal. So we have a horizontal slope, a zero slope, and a y equal line. So our slope is 0, and it's going to go through the y-axis at 3. So we have a horizontal line through the y-axis at 3, put a 1 by it. Now we're going to graph number 2. Okay, on number 2, our slope is going to be -2, and our y-intercept's -5. So the growing amount's -2, which means this line won't go up, it'll go down. The y-intercept's -5. The 0 is going to be our x-intercept, which we will locate, okay? The 0 of the function and the x-intercept is the same thing. So our y-intercept's -5, and this slope tells us to go down 2, right 1. We cannot go down 2, right 1, so we're going to go up 2, left 1, up 2, left 1, up 2, left 1. Am I doing this right? Yep, up 2, left 1, up 2, left 1. Connect the dots. And right here is the x-intercept, and it's going to be -2.5. It's right between, with the slope of 1 over 2, it would be right between the 2 and the 3, or -2.5. And let me erase that real quick. Draw our line again. And this is going to be number 2. Number 3, our slope is 1 over 3, and our y-intercept's 2. So we're going to put a dot at the 2. Our y-intercept's 2 and our slope's 1 over 3. So from this dot, we're going to go up 1 over 3, up 1 over 3, and we're going to go backwards. Down 1, left 3, down 1, left 3. We got our dots. And this will be line 3, and the 0 is right here at the 6. It crosses at 6, doesn't it? Okay, now then we're going to go and answer the lines. Our triangle is going to be here, here, and here. So it looks like this. This will be the base, and right here will be the height. So the height is equal to 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The base is equal to 7. So the base is 7, the height is 2. This is a scaling triangle because it's not a right angle because -2 and 1/3 are not opposite reciprocals. So this is a scaling triangle. The area of the triangle is 1/2 times 7 times 2. Which is going to be 7 areas, 7 units squared. And lastly, the ordered pair where lines 2 and line 3 cross, this is what the next unit's going to be about. Where do the two lines cross? They cross at -3, 1. Fun. Let's keep rocking and rolling. Remember on these problems here, a big square is x squared, a rectangle is x, and a little square is a 1, right? So we're going to draw these pictures. So we got 2x squared. I'm going to draw 2 big rectangles. 4x, 4 shaded squares. And then a -3. I need 3 shaded squares. Now then, this is going to be tricky here because of this minus sign. This is the first time you've had this. We're going to have to bluebell truck that minus sign to these 3. So right here, a negative times a positive would be a -x squared. 2 negatives makes a +2x, and 2 negatives makes a +4. So I'm going to have 1 shaded square, I'm going to have 2 open rectangles, and I'm going to have 4 open squares. Now then I need to cross out my opposites, don't I? I'm going to cross out a square. I got 1 big x squared. I'm going to cross out the rectangles -2x, and cross out 3 sets of squares plus 1. So x squared minus 2x plus 1 would be the answer. Continuing on, F-U-N, fun. We're going to do the distributive property. We're going to bluebell truck the 4 here. Eventually, you won't have to show your work, but this concept is huge, what you're learning here. So we're going to draw squares, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 rectangles, 1, 2, and 3 shaded squares. Shade them in. Then you draw your rectangle. Then you slice it up. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to, that's right. Then we're going to shade in. All of these over here will be shaded. Notice I'm squiggling them real small. Okay, so all my rectangles are open. I got 8 open rectangles, and I got 12 shaded squares. 4 times 2x is 8x. 4 times negative 3 is negative 12. Ho, 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 ho. Continuing on to number 10. X plus 2 times x minus 3. So we got a rectangle, 2 open squares, a rectangle, and 3 shaded squares. We're going to draw our answer rectangle. This is going to be kind of hard because we're going to have to shade on this one. I've been giving y'all positives. And then we're going to squiggle in. So we're going to shade, 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 and all these will be shaded. A negative times a positive is a shaded, right? Now then we're going to get our answer rectangle, or our answer. We have one big square, so we have x squared. We can slash out 2 sets of rectangles, can't we? So we have one shaded rectangle, and then we have 6 shaded squares. So x squared minus 6x minus 6. Ho, 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 ho. Number 11. X plus 3 times x plus 3. A product of squares. We have a rectangle and 3, a rectangle and 3. Draw your answer rectangle. Slice it up. And then there's nothing to cross out, so we're just going to get our answer. We got one big square, we got 6 rectangles, and we got 9 open squares. So x squared plus 6x plus 9. Ho, 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 ho. We are now number 12. Oh, ho, ho. Mr. Toops' clothes changed. Technical difficulty on the last recording. I ran out of daylight, so now I'm finishing up the video. On number 12, remember, we need to graph this and then hit Control T to get the range values. So we're going to graph the function, hit Control T, the table will tell us our domain and range. So x squared plus 2x minus 3. So I'm going to go to Graph, Home, B, hit Tab, and then it was x squared, Tab, x squared plus 2x minus 3. Make sure that's correct. So x squared plus 2x minus 3. So I'm going to graph it, hit Enter. Then I'm going to hit Control T. And that's going to give me my table. I need to go up to the 0. So the numbers on the right are my range. So my domain is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. These numbers on the right are the range numbers. So negative 3, 0, 5, 12, and 21. So I'm going to go over here, negative 3, 0, 5, 12, and 21. Those were the range numbers on the table. Now then the 0 is right here. If I input 1, my output is 0. That's an x-intercept or a 0, so the 0 is 1 on that function within that domain. Let's go to number 13. The fun continues. We want to find the slope of a line. You need to be able to find the slope in slope intercept, point slope, and standard. So right here, this is my slope. And remember, this is my x1 and this is my y1. These two numbers are my x and y, but when you put it in or take it out, you got to flip the sign. So the opposite of negative 4 is a positive 4. The opposite of a positive 3 is a negative 3. So this line has a slope of negative 2 over 3 and goes through 4 comma negative 3. On the next one, I'm going to do one of these. We're going to flip the x. Negative 4y equals negative 3x plus 8, and the negative 4 goes on the bottom. This right here is your slope. These two numbers make up your slope. So my slope is going to be 3 over 4. The opposite of a negative is a positive. Same thing on this one. The opposite of a positive is a negative. My slope's going to be 5 over 3. Y'all got to know that these two numbers form your slope, and you flip that sign. So you flip the sign in front of the y, put your a over b. The number in front of x over the number in front of the y, that is your slope in standard. Let's go to the next one. What's the slope of the line? So the slope of the line is going down and over. We are going down 20 centimeters and we're going over 80 minutes. So this is going to be negative 20 over 80. If you punch that in the calculator, you'll get negative 1 over 4. So it's negative 1/4 centimeter per minute. That's the slope of the line. Ho, 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 ho. F-U-N, fun, fun, fun. Let's go to number 15. On number 15, I'm going to save some time here, but you would put this into a T-chart. 6, 10, 20, 8.6, 12, and 20.5. And then you would get the M, the B, and the R. Okay? I'm going to go straight through this, or let's just put it into a table so we can get the M, B, and R. So I'm going to go to the calculator. I'm going to hit Control-T to get the table out of here. And then I'm going to hit Home. Remember, to get a spreadsheet, 1. We want a spreadsheet 4. And then I'm going to type in the X and the Y. And then we need to put our X in. So we want 6, 10, and 20. 6, 10, and 20. And then over here I want 8.6, 12, and 20.5. 8.6, 12, 8.6, 12, and 20.5. So I have my X and my Y in. Now I'm going to run a linear regression. Menu 413, X down, Y down, enter, right? Menu 413, X down, Y down, and enter. And bam, right here is what I need. So my slope is 0.85, so each gizzard costs 85 cents. The starting amount is 3.5, and my R is going to be 1 in it, which means every single dot is on the line. Remember, if the R goes away from 1, the dots spread out. Okay, so let's go to here, 0.85 and 3.5. So 0.85, 3.5, the R is 1. The slope would be 0.85, which is $0.85 per gizzard. And then what we're going to do is we're going to estimate. So 0.85 X plus 3.5, and we're going to put 15 in for X. So we're going to do 0.85 times 15 plus 3.5. So I'm going to go to my calculator. I'm going to hit Home and A so I can calculate 0.85 times 15 plus 3.5. So I'm getting 85 cents a gizzard. I'm going to get 15 of them, but I start off at $3.50, hit enter, I get $16.25. So $16.25 would be the cost of 15 gizzards. Ho, 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 ho. Continuing on, turn the page. Number 16, FUM, fun, fun, fun. We need the GX plus S, don't we? Okay, so Bubba Bob has $3, so this is our starting amount. He needs to raise money to take Emma Sue out to Captain D's for a romantic seafood dinner. Okay, he is going to wash cars for $5 each. That's our growing number. On Saturday morning, he washes 4 cars. Write this as a function rule. So we have 3x plus 5. The slope of the line is 3. Remember, this number right here is your slope. And it represents $3 per car, doesn't it? Okay, so right here, $5 for every car he washes, okay? So the dollar is our Y, and the cars are our X. So I'm going to go over here. This is going to be dollars, and this is going to be cars. And he washes 4 cars, so we're only going to have 5 dots. The Y-intercept's 3, and it represents, on your test, it will be the initial amount of money. Really, it's the starting amount. So let's put a dot here and put 3. Okay, and it would actually be 0,3. Does this graph have an x-intercept? No, he is not spending money. Now then, we need to wash 4 cars. So 1, 2, 3, 4. This would be 1 car. He would have $8. 2 cars. Every time you wash, you're going to add 5. 13. 3 cars, he's going to have 18. And after 4 cars, he's going to have $23, isn't he? We would not connect the dots because he's never going to get like $2.50. Now then, let's go down. Let's go down to number 21, because 21's linked up. The domain of the function, and this one right here is going to be 0, 3. The domain is my x's. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And this represents the number of cars, doesn't it? The range is how much money he has, which is 3, 8, 13, 18, and 23. The range of the function represents his money. Okay, so the domain is how many cars he's washed. The range represents how much money he has. Ho, 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 ho. Let's go over to number 19. We're going to put this into InSolve. So I'm going to get my calculator. And I'm going to hit menu 3, 1. Now then I need to get the equation, and I wish there was another way to do this. 0.2 parentheses x minus 1.6. So 0.2 parentheses x minus 1.6 close parentheses equals. Make sure you're putting in the parentheses. Some of you aren't doing that. You have to type it in as is. Negative 9.77 minus 3.3. Negative 9.77 minus 3.3. Is it? Let me see if that's right. 9.77 minus 3.3x. Minus 3.3x. I need to put comma x. And then I need 7 right here. Okay, so I've typed this in as is. And remember, you got to put comma x at the end. So we have this in, hit enter, and the answer is negative 2.7. That's what's going to happen on Staar. So make sure you're able to perform InSolve on Staar. So negative 2.7. Now then on this one right here, do InSolve, put the answer here. I'm going to do the work by hand. So remember, we have a proportion. We're going to cross multiply. 3 times x plus 8 equals 2 times 10. Y'all got to get where you can start doing this by hand. We're going to multiply by 3, distribute the 3, or bluebell trick it, equals 20. Move over the 24, and I'm going to get 3x equals negative 4. And I'm going to divide both sides by 3, and I'll get x equals negative 4 over 3. In InSolve, it might be negative 1.333. So that would be that answer. Let's go to number 20. FUN, 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 fun. On this one right here, we need to do a regression. We have XY, XY. So I'm going to make a T-chart, and I'm going to put this straight into the calculator. So let's go to the calculator. I'm going to hit home. I want new. I'm not going to save anything. I want a spreadsheet. I'm going to put X and Y in at the top. Got to delete the X down here. It won't work. Jiminy crickets. Now I can put my X in. Y in. And now then I need my points. So my points are 10, 5, and negative 20, 19. So 10, 5, negative 20. And is it negative 19? Negative 19. I'm going to go down. Make sure that blue box is not over the negative 19. So I got my order pairs in. Menu 4, 1, 3. I'm going to get my M and my B. So menu 4, 1, 3. X down, Y down, enter. X down, Y down, enter. And right here. So my M is 0.8. My y-intercept's negative 3. Now then, I got to switch 0.8 to a fraction. So I'm going to hit Control C. And then I'm going to hit Home A. I'm going to hit Control V. And then I'm going to hit Menu 2 to enter, right? Menu, number, convert to fraction, enter, and I get 4/5. So 4/5 and negative 3. So it's going to be y equal 4 over 5x minus 3. Ho, 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 ho. F-U-N, fun, fun, fun. Let's keep going. This is our x and our y. Let me switch colors. So we're going to write down y equal mx plus b. And our slope is parallel, so it won't change. So we're going to put negative 5 equals 3 over 2 times negative 6 plus b. We're going to put that into InSolve and solve for b. Everyone understand what I just did? So my x and y is my point. My slope is parallel, so I'm using the m. So I know the y, the m, and the x. I do not know the b. So I'm going to plug in the y, m, and x and solve it for b. I'm going to do this in my brain. Negative 18, negative 9, so b is going to be 4. So the equation would be y equal 3 over 2x plus 4. F-U-N, fun, fun, fun. Let's go to the next one. On this one, we have a perpendicular slope. So I'm going to go over here, negative 4 over 3. A perpendicular slope is going to flip. So we're going to flip the signs to a positive and flip the fraction to 3/4. This is going to be my m, this is my x, and my y. So I'm going to write down y equal mx plus b. And the m, or the y, is negative 5 equals 3 over 4 times negative 4 plus b. And you're going to put that in the end solve. I'm going to do it by my brain, so it's negative 3. B is going to be negative 2. Okay, so we're going to have y equals 3 over 4x minus 2. F-U-N, fun, fun, fun. Make sure, parallel, the slope will not change. Perpendicular, flip, flip. Put it in y equal mx plus b and solve for b. Ho, 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 ho. We just did number 21 a while ago, so let's go down. We are almost done. Emma soon notices the box she sells at Sonic have direct variation. Oh, oh, oh. That means they're proportional. Her boyfriend, and I didn't spell this right, so I need to switch that, ordered the Manly Man 40 ounce for $4.80. So what we want to do is find out how much 1 ounce costs. So do $4.80 over 40. So we're going to divide those two and get the price of 1 ounce. So 4.8 divided by 40, not 7.8. Jiminy Crickets. Jiminy Crickets, I don't want that. How do I escape out of there? So it was 4.8 divided by 40. Hit enter, and we get 0.12. So every ounce costs 0.12. So I'm going to go here. So every ounce we get is 12 cents. Bubba Bob orders, cousin Jiminy John orders a 32. Lucy Claire orders a 24. What will the cost of all 3 malts be? So we want to add up all the malts. So 40, 32, and 24. That adds up to 72.96 ounces. Each ounce costs 12 cents. So we're going to do 96 times 0.12. Okay, home. Jiminy Crickets. So A, menu, 1. Let me clear everything. Okay, so we're going to do was it 0.12? 0.12 times 96. 0.12 times 96. And we get $11.52. Ho, 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 ho. So all 3 malts will cost $11.52. F-U-N, fun, fun, fun. Let's keep going. Okay, on this one right here, Silsby Septic has paid Jiminy John $50 for travel, and $16 for each hour. This is starting and growing. So 16x plus 50. Evadale Lumber pays Bubba Bob $30 for travel and $20. So this is also starting and growing. At how many hours will they have the same amount of money? So we are going to set these equal to each other. So this will be 20x plus 30. Okay, now if you look at this, Bubba Bob's getting paid more to start off with, but Jiminy John's getting paid more per hour. So eventually Jiminy John will have more money. Now that you can type this into InSolve and solve for x, I'm going to do this by hand. I'm going to move the 16 over. Make sure you do this on InSolve and just solve it. Equals 4x plus 30. Move the 30 over. We want to get the x all by itself. We get 20 equals 4x, divided by 4. And at 5 hours, they're going to have the same amount of money. So at 5 hours, they equal. Before 5 hours, Jiminy John has more. After 5 hours, Bubba Bob has more. And the last one. Fun, fun, fun. Mr. Toots, give me more, give me more. Okay, line P is parallel to the y-axis. If it's parallel to the y-axis, it's going to be horizontal. We're going to write down our vertical. we're going to write down thux. So it's going to be straight up and down. It will never ever cross y. So that means we're going to have an x equal equation. So our x is -2, our y is -4. It's going to go through -2, and it's going to be vertical. Notice that it goes through -2, 4, doesn't it? But it never ever crosses y. So we're going to get an equation of x equals -2, and since it's vertical, the u stands for undefined. If it were horizontal, the slope would be 0. Wow, that took a long time to finish. Sorry I didn't get this to you last week. Finish this up this week. Turn it in. Be the first grade this 6 weeks you get. Remember, you are amazing. You are created to do wonderful things, and you are awesome.